The biggest flaw I have is that I'm too soft-hearted. So when I found out my fiancé had fallen in love with my best friend, my first reaction was to feel sorry for them. They must have suffered so much for this forbidden love. I didn't even have time to feel my own embarrassment and heartbreak. I only wanted to help the lovers unite. Let them be bound together forever and ever. Life after life. Never to be separated. My heart is just too soft. So before my birthday party started, when I saw Caleb and Taylor embracing on the balcony, my first reaction was to hold my breath, afraid of disturbing them. The night breeze was slightly cool. Taylor huddled in Caleb's arms, her voice choked with tears. "When exactly are you going to break it off with her? I really don't want to keep sneaking around like this." Caleb gently patted her back. "Just wait a little longer. Once I marry her and the Sterling family assets are in my hands, I'll divorce her immediately and marry you." Taylor looked up through teary eyes. "Then everything of Sarah Sterling's will be mine?" Caleb dotingly tapped her nose. "It will all be yours." I froze in place, struck as if by lightning. So, they loved each other this much? Loved so much they had to compromise like this, carefully planning their future. Loved so much they didn't hesitate to use me to pave the way for their romance. A massive wave of guilt washed over me instantly. Why hadn't I seen it sooner? My parents taught me from a young age that the most important thing in life is kindness. And yet, I had become the biggest stumbling block on their path to true love, causing them so much unnecessary suffering. Because of my existence, their love, which should have been open and bright, had become so hidden and painful. I was truly a sinner. I quietly retreated to my room. Looking at myself in the mirror, dressed up for the birthday party, I made a noble decision in my heart. I was going to give them a surprise, a grand surprise that would allow them to be together openly. Composing myself, I lifted my skirt and walked down the spiral staircase step by step. Under the spotlight, the eyes of the city's elite were focused on me. Caleb naturally extended his hand, wanting to support me. Instead, I took his hand. Then I pulled a bewildered Taylor from the crowd. Solemnly, I placed their hands together. I bless you two," I said, shedding tears for their great love. "Seeing you brave enough to be together, I'm so happy for you. It was my fault. I stood in your way. Not anymore. I withdraw. You must be happy, furiously happy." After speaking, I felt my entire being ascend. The immense moral satisfaction of helping others achieve their dreams almost made me dizzy. Caleb looked panicked, snatching his hand back as if electrocuted. "Sarah, what kind of joke is this?" I winked playfully. Lowering my voice so only the three of us could hear, I saw everything on the balcony. Then I turned to the room full of stunned guests. Smiling through tears, "Apologies, distinguished guests, for making a scene. Today is not my birthday party, but the engagement party for Mr. Caleb Hayes and Ms. Taylor Baker. Let us all wish them well." The entire banquet hall fell into a deathly silence. My parents looked astounded, wanting to come over and clarify, but held back because of the guests present. Seeing the expressions on Caleb and Taylor's faces like they had fish bones stuck in their throats, I knew they hadn't truly understood my kindness yet. It didn't matter. There was plenty of time. I would use my actions to make them understand that I, Sarah Sterling, was the most loyal guardian on their path of love. My act of kindness wasn't understood by everyone. The next day, I became the talk of the town. I kept my mouth shut about why I did it. My parents could only check the surveillance footage. After seeing the image of Caleb and Taylor embracing on the balcony, my mom was so angry she nearly had a heart attack. My dad threatened to break Caleb's legs. My brother sent the video directly to Caleb's parents, swearing to seek justice for me. I tried earnestly to persuade them. "Mom, Dad, Leo, you don't understand. Love can't be forced. Caleb and Taylor are truly in love. We should be happy for them." I withdrew willingly. My brother pointed at me, frustrated by my lack of spine. "Sarah, did you get your brain caught in a door? He humiliated you like this, and you're still defending him?" I sighed. Ordinary people really couldn't understand my noble sentiments. I didn't bother explaining to them and locked my door. I started worrying about the couple's love again. Although the Hayes family couldn't compare to the Sterlings, they were respectable in the city. My brother said Caleb's parents were equally furious. They firmly refused to let Taylor into the family. They despised Taylor's ordinary background, deeming her unworthy of Caleb. They decided to let things cool down for a while. How could that be allowed? True love is about breaking through all obstacles, about being intense and passionate. Cooling down would just lead to more complications, wouldn't it? If they backed down because of family opposition, wouldn't my painstaking efforts be wasted? I had to give them a push. I opened my computer and registered an anonymous social media account with the ID, cheering for true love. Then I started writing an essay. My writing wasn't great, but my feelings were sincere. I artistically embellished Caleb and Taylor's love story. Something about the soul collision between a top lawyer and a genius designer. A forbidden love breaking through worldly shackles, willing to bear the world's insults for love. I moved myself to tears writing it. This wasn't betrayal. They simply followed the voice of their hearts. The moment they met their soulmate, all morals and rules seemed so pale and powerless. The girl who chose to break the engagement didn't cry or fuss. She chose to facilitate their happiness because she knew true love is letting go, is blessing. To make the story more authentic, I attached a few photos. They were all taken when we hung out together. One was of Caleb in a gallery looking intently at Taylor as she introduced a painting. At the time, I thought that look was appreciation. Now I see it was clearly love. Another was a selfie of the three of us at the beach. Taylor stood in the middle, and half of Caleb's body was leaning toward her. Looking at these photos used to make me feel how sweet we were. Now they made me feel how stupid I was. So they had been together for so long. Caleb getting engaged to me was just delaying Taylor, wasn't it? Once the article was posted, I left it alone and went for a bath, satisfied. I just wanted to create some buzz for them, let Caleb's parents see how touching their love was, so they would soften and agree. I didn't intend to blow things up. I'm just such a considerate person. The development of things slightly exceeded my expectations. Since the photos were too personal, netizens guessed the account owner was me. The essay went viral overnight. Major media outlets and marketing accounts reposted it crazily, the headlines more sensational than the last. How Men's Secret top lawyer dumps heiress for true love with up-and-coming designer, soulmates or adulterous couple. Latest photo evidence, lawyer Hayes. Cheated with fiancé's best friend long ago. The strongest ex in history. Smiling blessing. Turns around and throws out threesome photos. Is this fulfillment or revenge? Public opinion was almost unilaterally cursing Caleb and Taylor. They became synonymous with scum men and mistresses, and I was inexplicably molded into the image of a clear-headed, intelligent, magnanimous, perfect victim. Countless netizens flooded my social media account to leave comments. "Sister, you deserve better. Run fast, stay away from the scum man and toxic best friend. Heartbroken for you. Hugs. I've been betrayed too. I feel you." Looking at these comments, I was confused. I was clearly helping them. How did it turn out like this? I was heartbroken, my conscience condemned. How could I watch them be cyberbullied? No, I couldn't be so selfish. So I posted a status update on my main account. Thank you all for your concern. There is no right or wrong in matters of the heart, only love and lack thereof. Caleb and Taylor truly love each other. Please stop attacking them. Let me bear all the blame alone. It's my fault for not realizing sooner, making them suffer. I defended them from the bottom of my heart, yet the netizens felt even more sorry for me. They dug up Caleb and Taylor's personal information and company addresses. Caleb's law firm received countless complaints. Taylor's design studio had red paint thrown at the door. She ran to the rooftop of the Hayes building, swaying in the wind. TV interview vans arrived, pointing long lenses at her. Taylor cried out to Caleb, who had rushed over, When exactly will you marry me? My reputation is ruined. If you don't clarify things publicly today, I'll jump from here. Sigh, so pitiful yet lovely. Love is truly great. It makes people disregard life and death. Caleb's face was ashen. He must be heartbroken for Taylor and angry at himself for not protecting her well. In front of the cameras, he gritted his teeth and shouted, "Stop it! Come down! I'll marry you! We'll get the license right now!" Caleb's parents were overwhelmed by the storm. To quell public opinion, they relented and agreed to the marriage. Seeing the news, I smiled with relief. My goal was finally achieved. Although the process was a bit twisted, the result was good. They could finally be together legitimately. Lying in bed, I let out a long breath. Sigh. Doing good deeds is hard. Complications always arise. But fortunately, the biggest obstacle was cleared. I could sleep peacefully with a clear conscience again. After worrying about someone else's love for so long, I felt somewhat mentally exhausted. I always put others' feelings first. It was time to care for myself. Guided by a good friend, I entered the most exclusive private club in the city. Just as I sat down in a booth, a commotion arose nearby. Several well-dressed, rich second-generation kids were teasing a man. "Liam, you're finally back in the country. The ladies here have been waiting eagerly." Exactly. Now that the city's #1 golden bachelor has returned, wonder which heiress can snag you. Liam must have had plenty of fun abroad, right? Don't talk nonsense. Liam keeps himself clean. Heard he didn't even date while abroad. For real? The man surrounded in the middle leaned lazily against the sofa. A careless smile played on his lips. His peach blossom eyes rippled with emotion. He neither confirmed nor denied the comments. I recognized him. Liam Vance, the famous young CEO of the Vance Group. We had met once when we were kids. Seeing me, his eyes suddenly lit up. "Sarah Sterling, what a coincidence. Do you remember me?" I nodded slowly. The two groups decided to sit together, and the atmosphere warmed up. A glass of strong liquor was pushed in front of me. Just as I was feeling awkward, Liam grabbed it first. "I'll drink for her." Later, he blocked drink after drink for me. By the end of the party, Liam had drunk too much, his peach blossom eyes misty. He held my wrist and whispered, "Hearing the news of your broken engagement, I booked a flight immediately. Before he could finish, Liam blacked out. Caleb and Taylor's wedding was set for a month later, but I hadn't received an invitation. My parents and brother must have thrown it away privately, afraid I'd be sad. I believed Caleb and Taylor would definitely invite me. After all, this was a good match I facilitated with my own hands. I couldn't let down their expectations. I had to be there to witness their happiest moment. On the wedding day, Liam picked me up in a pink Lamborghini. As soon as we appeared, we became the focus of the venue. Guests whispered, their eyes full of curiosity and anticipation for drama. Caleb and Taylor's faces looked unnatural, especially Taylor. Wearing a pure white wedding dress, she should have been the happiest bride. Yet her eyes revealed unease and nervousness. After the ceremony, I walked up gracefully. First, I offered a congratulatory gift. Taylor didn't take it. Caleb reached out and accepted it instead. Then he looked at Liam beside me, who had just caught the bouquet and was grinning brilliantly. "Sarah, we're glad you could come. And this is?" "My friend," I said sincerely. "Seeing you two finally unite, I'm happier than anyone. I brought a friend specifically to share this joy." Looking at them, I added from the bottom of my heart, "You must grow old together. Be together forever. Whoever lets go first goes to hell first." Taylor's face paled slightly. I didn't mind. Sometimes I speak a bit too directly. It might hurt sensitive hearts, but I believed they could understand my good intentions. That evening, at the Sterling family dinner table, my father spoke with a dark face. "Sarah, regarding that kid, Caleb's qualification as legal counsel, the board has strong opinions. After doing something like this, there's no need for the Sterling Group to cooperate with his firm anymore. I'm preparing to replace him. I panicked immediately. Dad, how can you do that? Don't you know how important that project is to Caleb? They just got married. His career is the foundation of their love. You know most of his firm's resources come from Sterling. If the project stops, his career will be in trouble. If problems arise in his relationship with Taylor, then what will happen? How could I watch the love I personally matched up die because of this small matter? My father looked at me, eyes complex with both heartache and helplessness. Sarah, he treated you like that, and you still— Dad, that's a separate matter, I interrupted him, having an idea. I know the board's concerns. How about this? I'll take over the project Caleb is responsible for. This way the initiative is in our hands, and to outsiders, Sterling won't seem petty, right? I looked at my dad earnestly. Dad, consider it giving me a chance to prove myself. I don't want to hide behind you guys anymore. I said this, of course, to reassure my dad. As expected, Dad was silent for a long time before finally sighing. All right, but remember, business isn't child's play. I nodded heavily, a huge stone finally lifting from my heart. Great. Caleb and Taylor's love now had a solid material guarantee. I really was a considerate and good ex. Under my standing against the crowd and arguing strongly on rational grounds, Caleb's law firm remained one of Sterling's core legal service providers. Working with me again, Caleb's face was written with guilt and awkwardness. Sarah, I never formally apologized to you. I thought President Sterling would definitely stop my project. I didn't expect you to help. He paused, glancing at me secretly. You still have me in your heart, right? I was startled, alarm bells ringing in my mind. How could he have such a terrifying thought? He was Taylor's husband now, another woman's man. I helped him purely because I was soft-hearted. I couldn't bear for him to lose his financial foundation. How could he misunderstand me like this? Taylor could be a mistress. I couldn't. After all, being so kind, how could I wreck someone else's family? I quickly changed the subject. I heard you moved out of the Hayes family home. His face suddenly looked embarrassed. Oh, we moved to Golden Peninsula. Golden Peninsula? Wasn't that the marital home Caleb and I picked out together? I realized. So they hadn't invited me to the new home because they felt embarrassed, felt they took advantage of me. After all, I paid the down payment for that house. Even the renovations were done to my taste. I wondered if Taylor was used to living there. My habit of worrying kicked in again. As a loyal guardian of their love, helping them optimize their love nest for a more comfortable life was my unshirkable responsibility. So the next weekend, I went uninvited, driving a car full of housewarming gifts for them. Curtains bought from PDD, tableware free with supermarket purchases, and I custom-ordered a meter-high paper effigy of the child-giving Guan Yin, glittering gold, benevolent-looking. When the door opened, Taylor's face froze. Sarah, why are you— Surprise! I gave her a big, enthusiastic hug, directing Liam behind me, who was helping move things. Move everything in. Be careful. Don't bump anything. These are all my blessings for the newlyweds. Liam, with a group of bros behind him, winked at me. Yes, ma'am. I pulled Taylor by the hand into the house. You guys really? Moving here without telling me. Afraid I'd overthink it. How could I? Seeing you happy. I couldn't be happier. Taylor's face turned green, then white. I asked, Taylor, are you used to living here? When I designed this, I planned to open it up for an open study. Why are you using this fine bookshelf to hold the rice cooker? Taylor unnaturally pulled her hand back. I walked to the center of the living room, shaking my head at the sofa. Oh my, this sofa is so in the way here. It makes the whole living room look small and blocks the light. Come, lend a hand, move it to the window. Before they could react, Liam and his bros had already lifted the sofa. I directed them to move other furniture around. When everything was done, I admired my masterpiece with satisfaction. Imagine, On a sunny afternoon, Caleb sits here reading. He looks up and sees your gentle figure busy in the kitchen for him. How romantic. Taylor, I'm helping you create romance, enhancing your marital bond. Taylor clenched her palms, taking a deep breath. She squeezed out a sentence. I am the mistress of this house. Of course, that's exactly why I came today. I excitedly took out the documents prepared in my bag. Thinking of you living in this marital home where I paid the down payment, I felt awkward, feeling it wasn't right. How could I bear to see you suffer such a grievance? I spread out the contract, pointing to the signature line. Here, this is the property transfer agreement. You return the down payment money to me, and this house is completely yours. I'm helping you secure your position as the mistress of the house. Caleb, silent until now, suddenly spoke. Sarah, we just moved out of the Hayes house. Our finances... Shut up! Taylor's face flushed red. She snatched the pen and scribbled her name. It's just money. I'll pay you back. Her eyes were red as she looked at Caleb. If you can't even earn this little money, let's not live together anymore. Caleb's face darkened instantly. However, I didn't notice any of this. I looked at the contract happily. Sigh, this was right. Nearly $10 million. This way, she could live with peace of mind and my suspended heart could finally relax. I am just too considerate, always taking care of others' emotions meticulously. After that heartwarming, housewarming visit, things didn't seem to have the effect I anticipated. Taylor seemed to have a huge fight with Caleb. I felt bad. She must still hold a grudge about me paying the down payment, feeling she owed me too much. Sigh, this silly girl, her pride is too strong. At work, my contact with Caleb inevitably increased. This project was overly complex. We often needed to have meetings together. Sometimes we even discussed a clause late into the night. I knew Caleb had stomach problems since childhood and ate irregularly. How could I watch him ruin his health? His health was the capital for their future happy life. So I ordered a customized stomach-nourishing lunch for Caleb from a familiar hotel every day, having the assistant deliver it to his office on time. I instructed the assistant, tell lawyer Hayes this is a special benefit provided by the company for core project members. Don't mention I prepared it personally, lest his wife finds out and overthinks it. I was so considerate, even considering such details. However, a few days later, I heard that Taylor, having just finished a design case, got up early specifically to make a loving bento box and delivered it to the company. As soon as she entered, she saw Caleb eating a custom lunch that looked expensive. Taylor's eyes reddened. Limited edition lunch from Hotel W with the sterling VIP golden tulip label on it. Sarah sent this set, didn't she? Caleb loosened his tie irritably. It's a company benefit, don't think too much. Look me in the eyes and say it. Was it her? So what if it was? So what if it wasn't? I ate this every damn day before. You know that. When you were her best friend, you praised this set for being exquisite. Why didn't you make a scene then? Taylor trembled with anger. I wasn't your wife then. Caleb, have you no shame? Caleb stood up abruptly, looking down at her. When you climbed into my bed, why didn't you think about whose fiancé I was? You knew you were screwing someone else's husband, too. You bastard! Taylor's face flushed red. Losing all reason, she swept the lunchbox and documents off the table. Soup spilled onto the thick, printed documents. Those were files Caleb had stayed up several nights to organize. Taylor! Looking at the mess, veins popped on Caleb's forehead. What crazy fit are you throwing? Look at you acting like a shrew. I must have been possessed to think you were gentler and more sensible than her. I regret it. I regret marrying you. Taylor cried in anger and stormed out. Of course, the assistant relayed all this to me. Hearing it, I felt extremely guilty. Such a sin. I just felt sorry for Caleb's stomach, afraid he'd ruin his health. How did I cause marital discord and delay work? I wanted to apologize to Taylor personally, but on second thought, Taylor was angry and emotional right now. She would definitely think I was there to mock her. I sipped my coffee, raising my hand to admire my new manicure. Thinking for a moment, I decided not to go. After all, I couldn't bring myself to do something that would upset people. That night, the project entered a critical stage. An urgent document arrived from abroad, forcing me to call Caleb late at night. "Caleb, did you look at the risk assessment for supplementary agreement number 17? I think Plan C still has loopholes. By the way, we're meeting the European clients tomorrow. Go over the legal documents again. There can't be any mistakes." My conscience was clear. It was all business. Every sentence was for the smooth progress of the project. Taylor, however, seemed unhappy. Muffled arguing came through the receiver. Caleb said lowly, "Sorry, Sarah. Hold on." After a long time, the call reconnected. Caleb's voice carried a trace of fatigue. "Okay, go on. Where are the loopholes in Plan C?" The next morning, there was a faint bruise at the corner of Caleb's mouth. Seeing it, I couldn't help sighing inside. Taylor, really? Couples fighting is normal, but getting physical? We were about to meet clients. Wearing this face, what would the clients think? Before hitting him, she should have considered Caleb's career. I quickly asked the assistant to bring foundation and concealer. Dabbing a little foundation, I gently patted it on Caleb's wound. His Adam's apple rolled, his voice hoarse. "Sarah, I regret it. If I divorce Taylor, done." I clapped my hands, stepping back to check, completely ignoring what he just said. Picking up the documents on the table, I slapped them against his chest. "Hurry up, the meeting is starting. Take another look at the final draft of Plan C." Caleb's professionalism was still there. As Sterling's chief legal counsel, he clearly explained the key terms in the contract. Listening, I nodded in approval. To not disturb his report, even his vibrating phone. I considerately switched it to silent for him. When the contract signing was complete, just as I was smilingly asking the clients about dietary restrictions for lunch, the meeting room door was suddenly pushed open with a bang. Taylor rushed in. "Sarah Sterling!" she screamed, her voice distorted by anger. "I knew you had bad intentions. You gave the project to Caleb on purpose, just to have an excuse to see him every day. You just want to steal him back." The entire meeting room went silent instantly. The blonde, blue-eyed European clients looked at each other. Caleb's face turned liver-colored instantly. He was shocked and furious. "Taylor, are you crazy? We are in a meeting." "I'm crazy. I think you adulterous couple drove me crazy." Taylor pointed at me, shaking all over. "Don't think I don't know. You send him food every day, message him late at night, chatting till midnight. You even gave him a tie. Sarah, have you no shame?" "He asked me for a divorce yesterday. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied?" I was stunned. My messages were all about project clauses. I gave the tie because I saw a new style in a magazine that fit his professional image, so I sent it casually. Everything I did was out of kindness. How could she misunderstand me so? Before security arrived, Caleb grabbed Taylor's hand and threw her out of the meeting room. I quickly ran over, holding onto the doorframe, poking my head out to look at the bruised and battered Taylor. Pulling and pushing, they left the top floor of Sterling Group. Sigh, my good intentions went wrong again. Before the meeting started, Caleb's phone kept vibrating. I saw Taylor called him countless times. I was afraid she had an urgent matter with Caleb, so I specially instructed the assistant. If Mrs. Hayes came, no need to announce, bring her directly to the meeting room, but preferably wait until the contract was signed. I just wanted to make it convenient for her. Who knew she came to fight? Taylor's huge scene thoroughly angered the board. They believed Caleb's ability to handle private matters was low, his emotions unstable, posing unpredictable risks to this multi-billion investment project. Fortunately, the contract was already signed. Learning the context, the clients understood it was a private romantic dispute and didn't fuss much. They just politely expressed hope we could switch the legal contact to avoid personal matters affecting project progress. I hurriedly apologized, saying, of course. Speaking of which, Caleb contributed greatly to the success of this project, but his wife caused such a mess. The board could not pursue it. This final payment before things were clear, I couldn't settle it for him easily. Otherwise, wouldn't I give people reason to talk? Becoming someone who can't separate public and private matters? Heard Caleb and Taylor had a big fight. They even got physical. Caleb cursed Taylor as a stupid woman who couldn't do anything right but ruin things. Taylor accused him of still being attached to me, giving her a reason to make a scene. Listening to the assistant's report, my heart felt like it was being cut. How could they hurt each other? Had they forgotten the price I paid for them to be together? While I hesitated whether to find Caleb, he came to find me. That night, Caleb appeared at the gate of the Sterling villa, holding a bouquet of roses. He was thinner and haggard, but his refined hair revealed he had groomed himself carefully before coming. Seeing me, Caleb's eyes lit up, showing the smile I used to know best. Sarah. He looked at me affectionately. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have given you up for that woman, Taylor. During this time, I realized you are the one who treats me best and understands me most in this world. I was stunned. What did he mean? Was he going to give up the earth-shattering love between him and Taylor? How could that be allowed? You drank too much. I frowned. Taylor is your wife. I didn't drink. Caleb widened his eyes. Sarah, I was too naive. Taylor loves my money, my status. I lost my parents' support for her. They left the inheritance to my brother. Now I have nothing. Taylor only cries in front of me, blaming me for being useless. Only you are willing to help me when I have nothing. Saying this, he tried to squeeze through the door to hug me. Sarah, let's start over, okay? Just one word from you, just one more chance from Sterling. I promise I can rise again. Then I'll give you the best of everything in the world. I backed away repeatedly, shocked by his shameless words. How could I become the third party destroying their love, just as I prepared to refuse him righteously? A lazy voice came from behind me. I say, sir, standing at someone's door holding flowers. Are you planning to be a door god? I turned around to see Liam wearing a white silk robe. The belt was tied loosely, revealing beautiful collarbones and chest muscles. Holding a glass of red wine, he leaned lazily against the spiral staircase. His peach blossom eyes looked at Caleb with a faint smile. My face blushed, if not for Caleb's interruption. We would be discussing the great harmony of life, engaging in some physically and mentally beneficial dual exercises. Sigh, my willpower is weak. I can't withstand pestering. Liam was just too proactive, running to me every day, insisting I owed him a candy from childhood that I never returned, making him uncomfortable. Candy or whatever, I wasn't clear. When did that happen? I didn't remember. Since he said I owed him, then I owed him. He remembered such a small thing for so many years. It was pitiful. How could I bear for him to be bound by the past? I wanted to buy 100 pounds of candy to repay him, but he refused. I really had no choice then, to heal his wounded heart. I had to agree to date him, handing myself over to him. The affection and gentleness on Caleb's face solidified instantly. Sarah, didn't you say he was just a friend? I walked to Liam's side and took his hand, reintroducing him, Liam Vance, my boyfriend. Caleb looked struck by lightning. Boyfriend? When did you get together? I thought for a moment. Probably not long after you got married. You changed your heart as soon as I got married. Caleb raised his voice. Sarah Sterling, did you ever truly love me? Stunned by his hysterical accusation, my eyes reddened with grievance. How did I not love you? I loved you enough to personally lock you and your true love together before I could defend myself. Liam pulled me back and stood in front of me. Oh my, I've seen it all now. Did a tumor grow in your brain and compress your IQ? Before you two broke up, you were cuddling with her best friend on the balcony, crying and plotting against my Sarah. You scum who cheated with your fiancé's best friend, lost your job because of your mistress, can't afford your house, and now you run back with cheap flowers pretending to be a saint? You have the face to ask if she loves you? Loving you was her bad luck for 8 lifetimes. Her not loving you now is called detoxing and being reborn. Who do you think you are? Does she have to build a monument and wait for you after you get married? Get lost. Don't be an eyesore here. Humiliated, Caleb had no place to hide his face. He couldn't hold the roses steady. Trembling, he threw them on the ground and ran away with his tail between his legs. Caleb lost his job. His parents had signed a family division agreement, leaving most assets to his older brother, leaving almost nothing for Caleb. To turn things around quickly, he started contacting some illegal channels, seemingly wanting to gamble everything on a quick buck to prove himself. When I heard this news, I was really anxious for him. My mind was full of thoughts that he was done for. So anxious, I ignored a detail. The person introducing him to illegal channels looked a lot like one of my brother's subordinates. Sigh, no time to think too much. I only cared. How could Caleb be so muddled, giving up on himself like this? This is a crime. I absolutely couldn't let this happen. I had to stop him, pull him back before he made a bigger mistake. In the name of Sterling Group, I anonymously submitted report letters to the police and tax authorities simultaneously. The letters detailed evidence of Caleb's suspected commercial fraud and illegal fundraising, as well as evidence of using Taylor's studio for tax evasion and cooking books to assist in money laundering. Fortunately, I cared about them usually. Collecting this evidence was as easy as flipping a hand. Reporting them to the authorities was also out of good intentions. I wanted to use this method, to let them know they were exposed so they would pull back from the precipice. At the same time, I wanted to create an opportunity for them to share adversity. Think about it. When they face the threat of prison together, they'll understand that money and fame outside are fleeting clouds. Only each other is the sole reliance. In the face of crisis, they would surely put down all grudges and love again. Their love would be sublimated in this test. However, when the police and tax authorities found them, why didn't things develop as I expected? Why was Taylor's first reaction to push the blame onto Caleb? Claiming she knew nothing about those complex accounts and fund flows, even when I had accidentally revealed to Taylor that during his time as legal counsel at Sterling Group, Caleb seemed to have used his position to leak non-core trade secrets to competitors for profit. This matter could be big or small, depending entirely on whether Sterling pursued it. Yet to strive for a reduced sentence, Taylor unhesitatingly reported this crime of Caleb's to the police. Caleb, learning of Taylor's betrayal, also produced key evidence like chat records, proving Taylor knew perfectly well about the money laundering. Looking at these reports sent by my assistant, I was heartbroken. How could they hurt each other? Had they forgotten the courage to be enemies with the world for each other at my birthday party? I was really so disappointed. So disappointed. Is there no true love in this world? The trial process went very smoothly. In court, the looks Caleb and Taylor exchanged were filled with endless malice. Learning I was the whistleblower. During his final statement, Caleb pointed at me, screaming hysterically at the judge. "It's her. She designed all of this. She is a devil. She just wanted revenge on me." Hearing this, I burst into tears on the spot from grievance. "Your Honor, I am indeed at fault. I was too soft-hearted. If I had called the police earlier, stopped them earlier, maybe they wouldn't have committed such big mistakes. I beg the court, considering they truly loved each other, please give them a lighter sentence." Finally, the verdict came down. Caleb, punished for multiple crimes, was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Taylor, as an accomplice, was sentenced to 10 years. All their illegal gains were confiscated. The two seemed drained of all strength, collapsing in the defendant's seat, eyes hollow, faces ashen. Through the crowd, I mouthed to them, "May you bathe in the river of love forever." A year later, I made the new energy project successful and became the veritable successor of Sterling Group. This day was my birthday. Liam took me to the Cloud Top restaurant. He hugged me from behind, chin resting on my shoulder, asking softly, "What are you thinking?" I looked at the brilliant, starry sky and smiled. I'm thinking, Caleb and Taylor must be very happy right now. In prison, without outside disturbances, without the temptation of money, they can talk to each other through the bars during fresh air time. This feeling of being together day and night, sharing joys and sorrows, how solid, how pure. Liam chuckled low. "Wifey, don't worry, I understood. I will be loyal to you forever. Otherwise, you can chop my head off and kick it like a ball." I looked at his excessively handsome face, couldn't help laughing. A man's appearance is important, of course. Loyalty is naturally more important. After all, in my world, I have to be comfortable first.